Alright folks, let this car pass. Alright folks, so I went ahead and last video we made here is about these motor mounts here. And I went ahead and got them bolted up. We got all our hardware put in. And they are in there. I mean, they're really in there permanently. It's a little bit of a trick to get up inside that frame to get them bolted down. But I got them bolted down. Just learned there's a number 8 on this motor mount here. You can see it. I can't quite make it out, but it's an 8 there. There you go. And this one's got a 7. There it is. There it is again, 8, yep. But anyway, I got these bolted up, went to our favorite hardware store, bought all our hardware and everything. We got our 4 washers here. These are for their actual motor mounts themselves. So I'm getting ready to pick them up and we'll bolt them up to our motor mounts there. And then I'll determine how long of a bolt I need to go through these 2 holes down here. And all this stuff is grade 8 stuff, so it should be just fine. But I got 3/8/16 bolts, run them through. I put some lock nuts on the other end, and I put some lock nuts as well, so that should be, you know, more than sturdy enough. These are the V8 motor mounts. If you don't know that, these are the factory original set of 59 to 64 motor mounts for V8s, like the 283s. You can put 327, 350. I mean, you can put anything you want in here pretty much, but these at that time were 283 quote unquote motor mounts, but they are in there permanently. And we're starting to set this up. I'm gonna run up there, get my motor mounts, and we'll bolt them down, get all this mocked up here, and that'll be good. And we'll get in here. We're gonna get this splash guard out of here. It's actually still in good shape. Now the other splash guard is rotted away, of course, but this one's still savable. So we'll get that out of the way there, and we'll take and make up some of these brake lines here. We'll bit that bent up. We'll split this off right here because our rear line is at the back of this T here. It'll clear up there. It'll focus. It won't focus. But our rear brake line is going back here on the frame there. And then we got our passenger side brake line that goes straight over there to our brake hose. And then we got it on the supply line that comes all the way around, I guess you wouldn't call it. It goes straight to the master cylinder. Right there, and there it is. But we're getting rid of that. We're chucking that and ditching that for that. So much better. But I want to get these brake lines made up. And front to rear is a 3/16 brake line. The passenger side brake line is a 3/16 over there. This one right here, I believe, is a 1/4 inch, I want to say. That goes around. And then we have another 3/16 on the driver's side wheel. And we have another, I believe, 1/4 inch that goes to our master cylinder. So it's really not hard to do at all. All you got to do is you can leave this line that goes to the master cylinder attached, and that will become your front brake lines because it's already tied in. You don't have to do anything at that T, and you just come on down. Now we're going to replace all these brake lines, obviously. And here's another reason why, because this one looks like it's kinked off. Somebody stepped on it or something, I don't know. But we're going to replace all them. We just going to split it right here and put a 90 right there for our passenger side front wheel. And then our supply line coming through our master cylinder. We're just going to take that T out, put a 90 in there, keep them 2 right here. And then we'll put a union on our front to rear brake line and just make another one off that, and then just bend it the same way and come right on around and up to our master cylinder. And that's all you got to do. That's all you're doing. Just a union, and you're just running another brake line from your front to rear straight on around to your back of your master cylinder right here. And then you take the original line that went to the master cylinder and just straight to the front. front brakes, rear brakes. Front, rear. Always remember that. Not all master cylinders are the same. I believe some Fords and some Dodges are a little bit different. They're actually reversed. This is the actual rear brakes, and then the one on the back is actually your front. Whatever one's got the bigger reservoir is usually the front, from what I've been researching. But we're going to replace all these brake lines, of course, because they're junk. I wouldn't trust them at all. But this whole entire car, pretty much like my Edsel here, is all 3/16 brake lines, and really, really nice. I got a nice Eastwood flaring tool, which you put in a vise there, and I love that thing. Really nice. But now it's time to do it. We're going to get the splash guard out of the way. We'll throw it back on later. And we want to get it out of the way so I can get this piece off here that's rotted away. We'll get that out of the way. And they might be different between the 6-cylinder car and a 283 car. Not 100% sure on that. Wouldn't think, but I don't know. I know the Z-bars are a little bit different. I think. Don't know on this car, but I know on a Chevelle they're definitely different. The width is different, so that's a lot longer. You know, horizontally, it's a lot longer for a 6-cylinder, and then a V8 would be a little bit shorter. Because the block is, you know, shaped like a V, basically. So the block, this side's going to be closer to it, so it's going to have a little shorter Z-bar. They're definitely shorter. But anyway, we're going to get this dry shaft out of here. This takes the same carrier bearing that's in the 67 to 72 C10 trucks, and this car actually takes the same brake shoes in the rear as a 67 to 72 C10 truck. So the rear brake shoes, all the springs, all that is exact same. So it's a lot of stuff for this car that if you don't know and you need rear brakes for this car, if you're keeping the drum brakes, it's not worth the money and the effort to upgrade to 4-wheel disc brakes. Not on this car, on my Edsel, definitely. But on this particular car, it's going to be a bare bones car, hence the name Biscayne. So we're not adding power steering, we're not adding power brakes. The only thing we're upgrading at all is the dual master cylinder, and you've been watching my videos, like I mentioned it a lot. I absolutely hate those things. Don't trust them. I chuck them. And well, I don't literally chuck them. I'll pull it off, put it on a shelf, and if they ever sell the car, you know, somebody, if they want to quote unquote restore it, they can put it back on. But I always put a dual on because, you know, you never know, and you want to be safe. I mean, if you're going to spend all this time and money in a hot rod, let's make it safe, right? The dual master cylinder and a neutral safety switch are the two things, you know, you got to have, you know. You want to be safe about this stuff. But anyway, I'm going to take in, go pick up my motor mounts and get them. And we'll determine our length for our bolts there. And I'll see what we need. I already got our washers, of course. These are grade 8 washers. So we got 2 for each side. So we bolted up. We got one to put behind the bolt and one to put on behind the nut. So we'll figure out what we need to get all that straight. I didn't want to buy them yet. I could have went on and bought the nuts like I needed, but ain't no big deal. I believe they're 3/8 as well. Could be a step bigger. It might be 7/16. Double check on that. But anyway, yeah, I had a little trouble getting these bolted up here. Wasn't too awful bad. I spent probably about not too long, not quite an hour, but almost. Would have spent a little less time on it, but had to crawl up underneath this thing and trying to hold a wrench and tighten them up at the same time, and ain't too bad, but it's doable. You can see there's a 4th bolt there too. You can't quite see, but it is there. But anyway, you're bolted up. You can't see the other bolt, the 4th one there, because it's kind of behind the way the frame is stamped. But it is there. It's got lock nuts and hot washers, so that should be pretty good. Kind of overkilling it a little bit. Put a little Loctite on there too, so I kind of overkilled it a little bit. I used the blue Loctite, but motor mounts, you kind of want to be safe about that. You don't want to be tearing up stuff. But anyway, I'm gonna go grab our motor mounts here and get that mocked up, determine our length, so we know how long we need to get our bolt. So when we put that through, our bolt through there, how long we need it. I'm sure I could guess and take a tape measure, but I like mocking stuff up. Makes it nice. But we're getting this thing ready because the 305 that's in my truck, we're going to, quote unquote, make it a 283 and put it in this car. And I got a couple little things I'll have to show y'all in a different video that we're going to do to it. And it's going to be pretty cool when I get done with it. It's one thing I won't like about it, but we'll figure something out about that. Anyway, y'all take care.